Hello again, welcome to the demo of The Last Visit, the Goblin Detective Mystery. I was frustrated the first time we played the game, but I didn't want to completely leave it unfinished because the game itself is kind of interesting. Like I like, for example, this citizens, this yellow pages kind of thing, this list of shops that we can visit. It tells you like where all the shops are. I did not like the length of the story that we sat through. Basically, I think I can still scroll back. This whole story was way too long. And when we went back to the old place, like you, one mechanic the game has is that you can revisit an old place that you visited like this, and you can see we've already been here. What do you want to do? And you can review what happened. But when we reviewed what happened on that first scene, it sent us into like 20-minute cutscene, which was 20 or 30-minute cutscene. It was really annoying. And so we just gave up playing right there. But I didn't want to leave it just hanging there. So I wanted to kind of push forward and see if we could solve this case. I'm now off stream, so I'm no longer streaming this, but I'm still recording this. Kind of as like feedback to the devs, I guess. So yeah. So we did review the end of the last this stuff, and there were a couple of clues here at the end that we could look at. This Miss Marbine for one, and this we might be able to find his wife, Heron Quarrybone's wife, depending if her last name is Quarrybone. And there's also where's the note? This note, well, we did visit this note, there was nothing there. But they also mentioned, starting out from my stream, also mentioned this Gentle Goblin Club. So those are clues that we might be able to follow up on. Aram 70, when we went there, didn't seem to have anything. We'll actually sit through this scene again. But they ended up talking about something inane. Right, they just started talking about rubbish. We had nothing to do with the actual quest. So the clue that we got right off the bat was a dead end. This guy's diary didn't actually give us any clues here. Right? They did give us his name, this person's name. And here, housekeeper Marbine Tolerant. This is also a clue that we can go visit. I do wonder about visiting all these other places. Number 6, Aram. Number 6, Aram District. There's only the thing with the game is that you can choose your difficulty, and on this difficulty that we chose, the normal difficulty, you can visit like 5 different places that are not part of the actual story before you fail. And I don't like that, because then the game kind of gives you all these places to visit, kind of like strange antiquities. But are you like, this is Aram 6, right? But it's nothing important here. You brought me to a useless place. Look at that beautiful rock. Try again. You can make 4 more mistakes without penalty. Instead of abundance, instead of flagging as a mistake, it will be fun to have some kind of random conversation there, because this is actually a house that is mentioned somewhere. All these people do live somewhere. Oops. So it's kind of I mean, I get it that you can't, I guess I get it that there's only so much budget you have, but it's weird to list out all these people, all the houses they live in, and generate names for everyone, but not actually generate conversations for them. It almost makes us feel like this could be AI generated, or like randomly generated, but not in a very like fire hose and forget kind of way. Also, does she actually live here? We didn't see her name there. So her name is Marbine Tolerant. Oh, that's her first name. Tolerant's her last name. Tolerant Marbine, N55. So we shall go to N55 and see if she has anything to say. Marbine Tolerant lived in a small apartment building within an expensive but well-kept building. They were greeted by an elf with the grim expression of someone who dislikes wasting time. Or someone who dislikes goblins, sorry. Which is probable, nobody likes goblins, sorry. Although no one hates a goblin quite like another goblin does. How can I help you? Marbine's voice was as rough as an old boot forgotten in a cellar, a stark contrast to his splendid regal appearance. Victor Blackwater, Red Tower's master of the hounds, pleased to meet you. Rock was surprised by Victor's unusually formal tone. Master of the Hounds? It's an ancient Red Tower tradition. I'm a humble servant of the city. My job is to watch over matters the city guards cannot or will not handle. Regardless of social class or race, I protect all citizens of Red Tower. Except Sir Wilbur, apparently. Shut up, Goblin. Huh? Anyway. What was that for? And this is my zealous assistant, Rock. You hear about Sir William Wilbert? A goblin as an assistant? In her long life, Marbine had seen many things, but never a goblin who could actually be helpful. He's a capable assistant. Don't be put off by his vacant stare and simple expression. On my bad breath. Thanks, Rock. All the food stuck in my teeth. That's fine, Rock. On my habit of stealing shiny things. Are you quite finished? Just one more. Go ahead. Or my uncontrollable urge to chew on carpets. Pleased to meet you, beautiful lady. So you work for Sir William? Yes, I heard what happened. It's a tragedy. He was a good man, even though he let me go without warning. What happened? I was his housekeeper for 5 years. Recently, I think his business began to struggle. He stopped paying us regularly, and a month ago he let all servants go. Only Heron remains as a handyman, though I doubt he can manage anything more complicated than sweeping. Boss! Excuse us for a moment. Boss, do you think she'll offer us cookies? Maybe poison ones? Poison? Yeah, she's obviously the murderer. Obviously. The murderer is always the butler. Wilbur didn't have one, so the closest thing's the housekeeper. You know he wasn't poisoned, right? We were there. Maybe she poisoned him first, then paid a wizard to blow him up? To make sure he died twice. You never know. We had to bury my Uncle Kratok 3 times. He kept getting up from the grave. Marbine stared at them for a long moment, then she cleared her throat to get their attention. Forgive me for not inviting you in, but I'm rather pressed for time. But we're inside. Very suspicious. Of course, don't worry about it. And it saves us an animation. But you're inside. What? Sorry for the interruption. You were saying you were the housekeeper at Sir William's mansion until you were let go. Yes, Sir William was a proud man. When he could no longer pay us, he gave us some household items as a reward for our loyalty. So you parted on good terms? Well, I haven't worked in over a month. It's difficult for elves to find work in a human city. And the Wilber's family set of soup tureens Sir William gave me isn't exactly a treasure. I used to live in my uncle's royal palace. Now I can barely afford this. What if? Do you know why he ran out of money? He simply ran out. I'm no expert, but living there I picked up a thing or two about guard chickens. The last 2 years' broods all died shortly after hatching. Oh, poor things. They're birds, Rod. Serves them right. Goblins notoriously hated feathered creatures. They could tolerate hair and fur, but feathers were considered an affront to nature itself. And who stood to gain from his financial troubles? I'd suspect Torn Piper. Marbine grimaced at the name. Piper took advantage of the crisis of the last 2 years. Sir Wilbert called him a shady con artist. Victor handed the elf a slip of paper with the address Heron had provided. Do you recognize his handwriting? Absolutely, that's Sir William's handwriting. You're sure? Absolutely, it's his shaky, childish script. With all due respect, Sir William was no scholar. He was good at math, but reading and writing weren't his strengths. And I recognized the paper. He always used these square slips for special instructions when he was away. What about his family? Sir Wilbur had few connections. As a young man, he travelled the world and was even reported missing at one point. He later returned from the emerged lands to Red Tower. In the interim, the ranch was managed by his older brother Peter. Peter had a son, Cornelius, a bit of a drifter. Both have been dead for years. The only living relative I know of is Cornelius' son, Baldur. He only showed up when he needed money. Never took an interest in the business. Oops. Where can we find Baldur Wilbert? I'm not sure. He has a small place somewhere in the cement district. Will he inherit Sir Wilbert's estate? I imagine so. The family solicitor, a dreadful vampire, would have seen to the arrangements. He lives here in town if you need to speak with him. A vampire notary? Yes, a blood-sucking parasite, and he's also a vampire. And romantically, did Sir Wilbert have lovers or flame secret children? A scarecrow collection? None of the above. By all accounts, Sir Wilbur devoted himself entirely to his work and the family business, according to reports. What by all accounts? And according to reports. But behind the gruff, shy, again I hit right click, exterior was a gentleman with a rather sad soul. Was he particularly attached to money? Not for personal gain. Apart from the villa, he had no vices. He reinvested everything into the chickens. It was a family business, founded by his grandfather, a wealthy farmer who rose from humble origins. They weren't truly noble, but they acted a part. They even had two family crests, the rooster and a hen, likely invented by their ancestor. I knew both Baldur and Peter before he died. Both placed great importance in the supposed lineage. Sir Wilbur, however, paid it no mind. His sole focus was making the farm thrive. But I understand, your oldest human houses pale beside elven lineages founded millennia ago. I was here 2 centuries ago, and I don't recall the emperor's family name. Victor thought that more important people had vanished for far less. He quickly changed the subject. So, an unclear inheritance, a ruined business, and a rival, motives are piling up. Boss, now I know why Sir Wilbert didn't have a butler. She killed him to steal his job. And she stole the scarecrow collection too. He never had a butler. He hired me shortly after I arrived in town following the fall of Marania. Marania? It was perhaps the most beautiful of all the elven cities. When magic faded from the world, we could no longer hold off our enemies. Within decades, we were invaded. No one came to our aid. Not humans, not dwarves, not other kingdoms. Our Marina's exiles live and work in the service of those who didn't lift a finger to help us. That's so sad. I'm sorry. I guess we goblins didn't help either. Thank you. But no one expects anything from goblins. And it's precisely because everyone underestimates him that this goblin will solve the case. Really, boss? No, seriously no. You wrongfully accused someone important and we both end up hanged. Always together, boss? Like a stubborn rash. Thank you, Miss Marby. That will be all. We appreciate your cooperation. I hope you're not the killer, ma'am. I hope so too, dear. What a good answer. Alright, who do we speak to next? We have a second so Willem Wilbur is here, but the other Wilbur is not here. Not under this name anyway. Gentle Goblin Club is something we could visit. So it's hard to review. It's very hard to review conversations. Baldur Wilbur. So he's not somewhere in the cement district. But he's not listed. And who else did we? So this is as far back as the thing goes. But I'm not sure where that's supposed to be leading us. They also mentioned the notary, but we didn't get a name for the notary, right? Although they might be under shops. Oh, here. Which district did she say they were in? He lives here in town. A dreadful vampire. Blood-sucking parasite. Too foolish. Grug the blind. Do you really want a dentist who's blind? E3, illiterates come here. Some of these names are pretty clever. Gentle Goblin Club is in W99, we should go there. Yeah, and we have to go to one of the notaries. I don't know which one. Let's go to W99 first while we're here. Wow, look at this. Victor entered the Gentle Goblin's club, looking tired, as if he would have preferred to be lying on a comfortable sofa, or even on an uncomfortable sofa, or anywhere else. The Gentle Goblin Club, really? Have you sunk that low? Rock stared at him, eyes sparkling with excitement. But boss, this is the fanciest place in town, even has a latrine. They put it right in the middle of the room though. Of course, otherwise how could one express their appreciation for the cuisine? Victor sighed heavily. Sure, why not? Nothing says refinement like a latrine in plain sight. Boss! Yes? Sometimes they make loud gurgling noises like but it's not like they're actually talking. Huh? Latrines don't talk, they can't say refinement, but they do. Okay, stop.
Self-voicing enabled. Raj, latrines don't talk, they can't say refinement, but they do. Raj, aghar glug glug glug. Raj, gruwa up piwa up plokt glug glug. Raj, gluwa up kt pkpt gluwa. Raj, ayosh glop glupage. Raj. Self-voicing disabled.
Oh, text-to-speech. I just needed to know how the text-to-speech was going to handle that. Did you forget what I was talking about? Oh yes. Better. The Gentle Goblins Club was once known as a human stink recreation club. It had then been recycled as a meeting place for green-skinned creatures of all kinds, and for anyone weird enough to want to socialize with them. At that hour, the place was normally deserted, which Victor appreciated. Only at night did the goblins give their best, and the idea of being in the middle of a crowd of rowdy drunken goblins held no appeal for him. An old goblin livery, grinning, greeted them with the stern, judgmental expression of someone who has seen too many human customers in his establishment. Master of the hounds, what fortunate wind brings you to these parts? He made an imperceptible movement with his ears in Rock's direction to greet him. Victor looked at him with hope. Of all the goblins in the city, Grinnick was the one who strayed the furthest from the typical goblin mold. Not particularly lucky, so William Wilbert, someone decided he deserved to pass on to a better life. Have you heard anything? Grinnick shook his head slowly, looking serious. Not me, but the name is familiar. The boy saw something strange a few nights ago. When a goblin says something is strange, it really is, Victor thought. Instead of continuing the conversation, however, Grinnick cleared his throat. Yes? Grinnick stared at Victor's pants with an accusatory expression. Sir, the dress code. The dress code? Here at the Gentle Goblin Club, we require human guests to leave their pants at the door as a matter of respect. Victor looked at the goblin in disbelief. Really? Rock nodded as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Boss, I can tolerate the sight of our pants now, but let's face it, they're disgusting. Not as bad as the feathered ones, but almost as disgusting. Intolerable. Deplorable. You must stop attending evening classes. Can I at least keep my underwear? If you must, but I understand not wanting people to know you lack skills and a posterior. He unbuttoned his pants with a theatrical gesture and handed them to Grinnick, who took them with a smile of approval. Well done, sir. Welcome to the Gentle Goblin Club. Clack, no harm.
Self-voicing enabled. Grinnick, Tigluck. Nahum.
Tiglack.
Self-voicing disabled.
No harm. Grinnick shouted with typical goblin grace. He might not have been very goblin-like in other ways, but he was still a goblin at heart. The two waiters bowed slightly, staring at Victor with amused looks. I've been told you have news about Sir Wilbert. The first goblin began, looking as if he were about to tell a great story. Oh yes, he was shouting, Wilbert! And the curses he was shouting. Calm down, calm down. What are you talking about? Start from the beginning? Shall we start from the beginning? That would be ideal. That doesn't seem right. Goblin stories never start at the beginning. They start at the most interesting part. Then there's a digression. Someone jumps in to contradict what's been said. Mothers get insulted, a fight breaks out. At that point, no one remembers anything but the original story. The goblins couldn't have known it, but many human religions had also begun that way. Try from the beginning from a change. Let's try. 2 nights ago, a guy we'd never seen before. Or maybe we have declared. Maybe we've seen him somewhere before. I don't know. Humans all look the same to me. Can you describe it to me? It? Well, it had no scales and no hair on its face. Yeah, luckily no hair. So no beard or moustache. Did he have hair? Thankfully no, a healthy bald head. Now I remember. I think I saw him a few days ago in another tavern. Do you go to other taverns too? No. It was our closing day. Do you remember Tiglack? We noticed him because he was having lunch with a golem next to him. That's right, it was him. A golem? Tall, rocky, staring, made of stone. Yes, a golem. Definitely a golem. Or was it a troll? No, trolls talk. Golems are the one who walk around with grim faces and carry out orders. It's been a long time since we've seen a golem in town. I thought the shop the ransom had closed down. Evidently not. Was he accompanied by a golem 2 days ago as well? No, when he was here there was no golem, but it put on quite a show, believe me. The goblin continued more excitedly. He climbed up to the central table and started screaming like a madman. A typical evening then. Much more than that, brother. We don't make such a mess either. Except for the Frightmore Festival. See, I appreciate that the game has all these sites, but it makes all this inane banter makes it really hard if you're reviewing a conversation for clues. I guess maybe that's the point. But the last one went so long that it went over the maximum scroll back length. And this one probably does the same as well, right? If you're gonna make me review a conversation, you can't push it back so far that, see, like this, we already went past the buffer, and it's gonna get longer as this conversation draws on, right? Also, the characters don't handle the scrolling very well. Now this first goblin is hidden behind the other two because of my scrolling. What's this? Anyway, yeah. Well, the Frightmore Festival is a Frightmore Festival. I agree. Either you do a proper Frightmore Festival, or it's better not to do it at all. Do you also put Mule's food in it when you make the Frightmore Festival? Of course not. Of course we do. Are you kidding? Mule's food at a Frightmore Festival? Well, my grandmother always said. Can we go back to the evening? More inane chatter that's very unnecessary, to be honest. Victor interrupted him, visibly bored. Me too, Victor. What exactly was he shouting? He was angry at someone, the person he mentioned earlier. Wilbert? Exactly, Wilbert. He was shouting that he'd make him pay. He said he was a wizard, a dangerous one. He wanted to cast a curse on them or something. I said magic could still be done like in the old days. A wizard, eh? Interesting, what then? Then without even ordering anything to eat, he leaves. Poof! Gone into thin air. Into thin air? He disappeared with magic? No, he ran out the door. He was agile for an old man. Was he an old man? Either an old man or a child. Old woman, all humans look like babies, all wrinkly, toothless, and appropriately bald. Ouch. The only sensible thing to do seems to be to actually leave here without ordering. Are you sure he was the same man? Are you sure you're not confused? To me, goblins all look the same. Don't make fun of us, sir. How can you confuse goblins? We're completely different. Look at the shade, they're totally different. Look at the nose. Look at Rock and me, he's the color of a swamp frog. I'm the color of a poplar leaf. And the skills on our neck are completely different. Boss, it's not nice to tease us with this talk, come on. You're right, it was a joke. And then we goblins have an eye for these things. He had no hair on his head, and he definitely too many fingers on each hand. 6 fingers, or 5, but more than normal anyway. And he had round ears. No, come on, you don't say things like that. We're among decent people here. I know, but I'm not lying. His nose was as big as a giant potato. Wait. So you're talking about ears? Which is new normal for a human, right, round here? Then suddenly he's like, you don't say things like that. And I know, I'm not lying, his nose was as big as a giant potato. So the text here is wrong. I'll tell you, for a human, it was a nice nose. The 2 goblins nodded convincingly, satisfied with their description. Victor paused to think. Okay, there's a mad wizard roaming the city. He wants revenge on Wilbur and openly declares it, but where is he now? Well, that's a good question. He left quickly without giving any explanation. Maybe he's staying at the other tavern, the one where he had lunch with the golem. He's probably still plotting. Very wizard-like plotting. Anyway, yeah, thank you. You've been incredible to say, helpful. It was a pleasure. Now go on, come on. Cow and trails don't chop themselves. Of course. You hadn't said that Meal's food doesn't go in a Fright Mole festival. Does that sound like a credible story to you? Rock nodded uncertainly. Boss, I always say that when there's a golem around, there's something fishy going on. You never said anything like that. But I thought it. But you never think anything that you don't say. But I often speak without thinking. How true those words are, my friend. This story is getting stranger and stranger. If he had a score to settle with Spielberg, why declare it publicly? And we think he was a wizard no less? Maybe he was drunk? Maybe he's just one of those crazy people who can't keep their mouth shut? Maybe it's magic. Magic in the old days filled the heads of sorcerers with confusion and hallucinations. Like when you watch a spinning top. Tools of the devil, I assure you. Victor was about to leave when he realized something was missing from that story. His pants. Give me my pants, please. Are you sure, Master of the Hounds? You could free yourself from this knee-covering tyranny and roam the city freely. I don't think I'm ready for all this freedom. It's been a pleasure, sir. Come back soon. Maybe next time we'll even get to let you try our cuisine. The dish pie is particularly savory these days. Thanks. But I'd rather give up my pants. Goodbye. So we're no closer to... So they did give a clue. They talked about the other tavern, right? Was it the other tavern in town or the other tavern in... It says the other tavern. I was trying to use my mouse wheel to iterate through this list, but it failed. Ooh, S16 Night Market. So the other tavern would be this one, S14. Oh, the other tavern could be either one of these. It's probably S14. Reason, well, no, the broken arm, yeah. So when they say in town, I don't know if they're talking about any of these or just the same quadrant as here. W64. Eh? S14, I guess. It's weird because I don't know which one it is. They just said Tavern. But maybe I missed a clue somewhere else. It might not be any of these though. This is a great place to investigate, but we can't. Who's stopping us? An evil wizard? An evil weasel? I'll take care of it. I took combat lessons from Grandmaster Janak. Grandmaster Janak, the one who was paralyzed after a fight with a kobold? But he really was a really nasty kobold. He was an old kobold, lame and blind in one eye. Oh, the dentist. They're the worst. No, we can't go any further. It's a demo and this part will only be available in the full game. Oh, I don't understand, but I'll go along with it. Good boy, let's go. Oh, but does that mean I reached the end of the demo? No, right? No, I still have people to interview. I'm just not sure where to go. One of the people we know is the notary, but we don't know which one. And I can't review the case at this point because the conversations take too long to sit through. We know that the brother lives in one of these northern, I think it was northern, one of these northern houses, but we don't know which one. So this journal is weird. It would be interesting if there was a way for us to write in the journal, but the journal is full of crap. I wonder if any of these have clues. Oh, these are the inns and taverns, okay. Baraka does not serve greenskins. Not real, notice the scoundrel has passed away. The dance on his grave is scheduled for Thursday at 3 p.m. Horribone is not a listed thing here either. I was wondering. like this name because he talked about his wife, so I was hoping to look up this name, but nothing there. So yeah, I'm not quite sure where to go from here. Besides just, maybe we'll try a hint. So William in N60 was wearing a wig. Where could he about really? Really? That's a clue? Wow. It's kind of a weird place to put a clue. Nope, don't see one here. Dyers? No. Barbers? No. Did I miss a wig maker somewhere? No, doesn't seem like it. Perfectly braided, no. E25 Golem rental. That might be a nice one to investigate as well. Barbers. Cut and sew. Like 74. Might be E74 might be the one. But I also kind of want to visit this one. Golem rental. So E25. Victor and Rock enter the premises, passing the golden sign above the entrance. The words prestigious Golden Bodyguard Agency have been engraved with too much ambition and too little skill. The ceiling was painted with ancient battles in which golems marched triumphantly, while humans with proud expressions pointed away. At the entrance, a statue depicting the bust of a golem watched them menacingly. Victor wondered if it was a real statue or the mutilated remains of a poor golem. The carpets beneath their feet were so soft that Rock hopped up and down a few times, just for the sheer pleasure of feeling them. Boss, this place screams nobility at the top of his lungs. Victor didn't agree. Statues painted to look like granite, frames with a thin gold plating, this place tries to be better than it is. Ah, like when my father smears mud on his head. Exactly, you took the words right out of my mouth. Sure. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm not sure what I should do. Do what? To give you back the words I took from you. Be quiet and think of nothing. I'm good at this. With a sudden cold snap, unusual for the season, a frost sprite appeared without making a sound. Behind a polish counter, this is a very nice image. Beneath a polish counter, the frost imp, with a pair of twisted horns and the classic medallion of his clan, looked them over wearily. Good morning, welcome to the prestigious Golden Bodyguard Agency of the noble Count Hamiel. I've been given the name Karma. How can we help you? The frost imp seemed to be mechanically following a script. Hello, have you rented a golem recently? Karma seemed to try to blink. The eyes on his eyebrows lifted slightly. Oh, I'm afraid such a request must be approved by esteemed master, the noble Marcus Hamiel. Noble, I wonder how many more hits he owns. Surely many. Carmack didn't move, but a clanging sound filled the room. Marcus Hamill appeared from a side door, in the scenes of battles he had probably never fought. To what do I owe the pleasure of a visit? Noble Hamill seemed disappointed by the scruffy appearance of the detective duo. We are investigating a murder and would like to know who you have rented a golem to in the last month. Ah, If only we had rented a golem. No one can afford them anymore. You see the big shots who come to this esteemed shop. Well, I know what you mean. Did I accidentally save over this? I did. Damn it, right click. Although, of course, this activity is just a hobby for me, I certainly don't need money to live. Victor looked at him skeptically. Sure, who needs it? To be honest, we get threatened by creditors almost every day. Ah yes, the rebel. When will they underestimate the true value lies in happiness? Happiness? Heraldry. Quite right, are you, Noble? Victor Blackwater, Master of the Hounds. Of the Hounds? Is that a cadet branch of the Bartholomew Happiness? The cousins on the left were counted killed. Yam. My father was Princess Margarine's godfather. Ah, certainly, I know them well. An excellent family. Boss, didn't your father sell fish at the market? Oh, the charming frivolities of goblins, nature's jesters. I understand from your subordinate that a golem had been rented recently. Is that correct? Frostbite stared into space, emitting a small puff of mist. Marcus Hamill gave the icy Carmack a cold stare. My employee must have made a mistake. Now, if you excuse me, I have more important things to do. Before I leave, my dears, my assistant Rod would like to know a little more about golems. Bad. I don't know. Could feel a volcano. Just about golems, but about wheat and sugar. Evaporation, soap. Especially soap. It's a sad story. Golems were once fought over by dukes, counts, and barons. In my father's day, even every dignitary who came to town wanted his own golem guard. Well, how can you blame them? We're full of criminals, even excluding our rulers. When I was a boy, we had about 20 golems, maybe by the most sensitive. Powerful wizards, sensitive, maybe by the most powerful wizards, some of them centuries old. They were rare and resistant to all kinds of physical and magical attacks, the ideal bodyguards. Only Emperor Tick's father had more golems than us. Somehow I doubt he's in the directory. But then the magic ended, and with it the possibility of creating new ones. This amulet is kind of similar to... No, it's different from the amulet the other guy was wearing. We thought this would increase their value. You know about the law of supply and demand, right? The more you ask for mama pudding, the more they offer you sardine ice. Rob, remind me when I hired you. I filled out a difficult questionnaire. It was just your name. Got it wrong. We expected to rent the goblins at high prices, but with the disappearance of the wizards, the dignitaries no longer needed the power of a golem. Gods, how ridiculous god chickens were enough. Conversation rekindled Victor's interest. God chickens? Do you know any? Do you know Sir William Wilbert? It is Sir Wilbert who has passed away. With a lot of thunder welcomed him to his Scotch arms. Like almost all the kingdoms of the Empire that never sleeps, the inhabitants of Red Tower also believe in the Lord of Thunder, an angry and vengeful deity. When swollen stormy clouds streak across the sky, it was said that they were his cloak and that from his throne of black clouds, he would randomly hurl lightning bolts just for fun. Or as the priests claim, to test the devotion of mortals. The citizens honored him with grand ceremonies that included raising tall metal poles in the fields to attract his blessing. Every year, at least 20 people were blessed and taken with great honors directly to the sanatorium, the most blessed directly to the cemetery. The inheritors of Torre Rosa believe him to be inscrutable and capricious deity. But then again, what god isn't? The priests of his cults, known as the Purple Priests, were famous not so much for wisdom, but for their need for precious metals to erect poles in honor of the god. The absence of precious metals, precious gems or furs were also acceptable. In times of famine, they strangely managed to create sacred poles with game and bear skins. The common people, meanwhile, lived in fear that the god would become angry if anyone dared to complain about the weather. There was an unwritten rule: never say, "It's too hot today," or "I like some sun." Because there was always some guardian of the cult ready to remind you that the Lord of Thunder does not appreciate criticism. If the old and decrepit purple priests were not a threat, their armoring, the violent and mysterious Inquisition, certainly was. The Lord of Thunder had a positive side, however. If one were to follow the sacred scriptures, at birth he gave each person a gift. Victor's gift was to be very good at a job he hated. For this reason, regents, chiefs of the guards, ministers, and courtiers changed rapidly. But he had been the master of hounds for the city for 20 years. 20 years. An investigator, a confidant, an arbiter of disputes. Corruptible, of course, but at very reasonable prices. Victor had not yet been mysteriously disappeared because he had spread the rumor that he kept meticulous notes on all the scandals, crimes, and perversions of the city's inhabitants, and that this black book will be disclosed upon his death. Okay, no one knew the black book really existed, but everyone had good reason to prevent it from becoming public knowledge. I never met him in person. The Wilbergs are just wealthy merchants. They have nothing to do with a noble family like mine. Kama let out a small puff of cold air. Yes, Kama, did you want to add something? Oh, no, everyone appreciates the nobility of the Hamill family, and especially the devout Kreskin family. And of course, my wife's family is equally noble. Of course, noble families with governments. Oh, for generations. Getting back to the golems, how many do you currently have? Sorry, I had to deal with something there. You are all engaged in the borderlands under the command of the general accountant. How does a golem rental contract work? Unfortunately, as I already said, I don't have any available. Oh, come on, satisfy my curiosity. Come on, rule number 1. Payment in advance? We should adopt it too. At this point, I order the golem how long and who must protect. From that moment on, the golem will follow his master and defend him from any attack. In some cases, if the threat is obvious, it may even take the initiative and attack first. Does it never abandon him? Never. They're magical creatures after all, and orders are orders. Not even to the latrine. You don't know how many people get killed during a session in the latrine. Yeah, I'm done. Happened to my cousin Zaran, but we think it was unfixed tuna casserole's fault. Anyway, the golem has to do with what is told, that's all. So he's a slave? What big words. Golems were created to protect. They are extremely happy to be able to do so. There were very few crimes that were not tolerated or encouraged by inhabitants of Red Tower, and slavery was one of them. Like all magical artifacts, they are places as our servants. Other magical creatures that have lost their powers, such as goblins, are certainly more exploited, aren't they, Kama? Kama moves his head imperceptibly to nod, staring to space. Huh? Poor Kama. But certainly not, dear Kama, my faithful assistant, almost one of the family. Like a stable boy and an old gardener. Getting tired of reading? Is text-to-speech any better? What an honor, Sir Hamill, too kind. Now I really must be going. I wish you the best of luck with your case. Thank you, but I don't need luck, never had any. Marcus Hamill quickly returned to his office. Thank you for using our services. Here's a flyer in case you need us. Read it carefully. Thank you very much. There you go, save in my journal. What do you mean? I don't know, Rob, not yet. We did unlock a new thing. Oh, they're symbols. The symbols probably mean something as well. Interesting. Aram 70, I wonder. Aram 10? No. Just curious. The 70 kind of looks like 10 as well. So we still don't know what this We don't know what this symbol means or why this is important. But thanks for the souvenir, I guess. The other place we need to visit is the wick one, right? Which is cut and sew 70E75. Nope. Oh, I guess you can continue making mistakes even afterwards. It doesn't matter. Hear it again without penalty or tell you where to go at a cost. Repeat the clue. So William in N60 were wearing a wig. Where could he have bought it? So maybe it's not. The reason I went to that place was because I thought it was maybe one of these. But maybe it's not a barber that sells it. Maybe I was looking at the categories here. But maybe we should look at the... I bet we actually have to look at the shop names. Noisy horses. So right now I'm going through shop names and looking for something about wigs. Just like how we found Golem Rental. Clothes for everyone, even for kobolds. N52, master of the house, that's me. Clown smiled out of the mask nocturnal sonnets. Nope. Nope. Washes from the pure spring, fabrics from the enchanted river, whiteness of the full moon, laundry of the rotten kingdom. Water and fabrics are faint. Gloves of the ancient fat king. I don't see anything that's wig related. Maybe there was something in the journal that I missed. Oh. Yeah. The Ogre Barber. And they said 74. I'm not sure which quadrant of the city though. But the Ogre Barber was definitely in here. E74. Wait, we tried didn't we try E74? Wait, really? We come back here more often. Wait, no, wait, what? Oh, we're no longer in the RM district. Damn it. '74 Kiri Street. Look at me not paying attention. The sign of the salon, thick hair, aesthetics for skull of every shape and size, swayed slightly as Victor and Rock entered the establishment. I need more water. If I'm gonna survive this. The room was filled with the intense smell of orchid shampoo, elf hairspray, and dried blood. A huge ogre with very convincing blonde hair was busy trimming the branches of a dryer. A carved gnome head sat enthroned on the other side of the room, wearing a wig with spiral braids intertwined with wildflowers. Victor, good taste is wasted here. True. Victor observed his assistant, unsure whether he was being sarcastic, genuinely meant it, or had no idea what he was saying. Are you being sarcastic? No, my bowels are regular as a goblin clerk. What? Despite their limited vocabulary, the goblins were always proud to boast about their strangely functioning clocks. Among the great mysteries of nature, that of goblin clockmaking was certainly the most mysterious. A goblin with average intelligence, average compared to other goblins of course, would have difficulty threading a button through its buttonhole. By putting in front of 20 gears, a few springs and 2 hands, he could create the most accurate and punctual clock you've ever seen. You really love clocks, don't you? Boss, clocks are beautiful. They go tick-tock, and then there are wheels that turn and hands that move. But why do you use that absurd way of counting? 60 seconds in a minute? 60 minutes in an hour? Why not 100? Everyone asks us that. How many fingers are there in a goblin's hand? 3. How many goblins did it take to create the first mechanical pendulum? 5. 5 goblins with 2 hands, each with 3 fingers, equals 60. As absurd as this may seem, he had left it up to the goblins to decide how to divide time. But after all, only they seem to be able to really understand how clocks work. I'm not going to comment about the math here. What about the 12 hours then? 2 hands and 2 feet? Or why only 12 digits on the clock? There are 24 hours in a day. But we goblins sleep at night. And anyway, everyone uses our clocks now. It's much easier to say 7 o'clock than to say an hour after Assassin's Hour. Even before goblin clocks, the day was considered to be divided into 24 hours, and traditionally, every third hour had a typical name. For example, 12 o'clock was the hour of bread. Rock, what is 53 plus 78? Well, I carry 2, the number that looks like a little man dancing. 200? Almost. How much is 53 minutes plus 78 minutes? Easy, 2 hours and 11 minutes. You are strange creatures, you goblins. And you haven't met my cousin Frank. He eats a cherry and a pit comes out of his nose. But it's a peach pit. Now I won't be able to get this image out of my mind. Shall we continue investigating? See? Sure, funny banter. But that whole conversation was utterly pointless. Yes, it's world building. But if you're ever reviewing this conversation, we don't need to see all the garbage, right? There should be a summary of each conversation. And kind of a way to skip past some of this nonsense. Of course, it takes us to such beautiful places. There should be more barbers around. Every place that removes hair from human head should be encouraged. Hair and birds, the great enemies of goblins. Along with buttons, weasels, wow, look at a beautiful chair. Rock exclaimed, staring at the chair that looked like a potential death trap for any living creature, given its crooked leg and rusty spines. I can always count on an attention span being that of a 3-year-old. Well, I'd love to. Do you think we should call the barber? Disturb a 300-pound ogre wielding rusty scissors as big as my head? What could possibly go wrong? See, we're like dozens of lines in and we haven't even started this conversation yet. Exactly nothing. Mr. Ogre, can we talk to you? Ogre? Ogre? Who mentioned an ogre in my establishment? Do I look like a rude and boorish ogre to you? How can the noble race of ogre be confused with those rude, irascible, and ignorant orcs? Right? Calm down, sweetheart, or you end up cutting off all my gems. We have customers waiting. Oh, what good wind has brought the master of hounds and his charming moustache to this humble establishment? Welcome to Thick Hair, where every head has its glory. Good at your service. Good welcomed them enthusiastically. Hello, Good. We are looking for information about Sir William Wilbur. He died this morning. He died, but at least he got to visit this wonderful place first. Thank you very much. It's nice to see a green-skinned person with good taste. You're not as ignorant as a hobgoblin, incapable of rising to the level of art. Damn stupid hobgoblins. Beasts as rude as orcs. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Of course, like all of us. But Sir Wilbur? Sir Wilbur, he's always been a customer of mine. Same boring haircut for 15 years at the start of the season. Except for the day before yesterday, a clean shave. Did you shave? Completely? As if he'd taken a vow or become a follower of Human. The followers of Human were a small sect whose adherents used to shave their heads in honor of the founder Joseph Human. Thanks, Encyclopedia. Years earlier, Human had slipped from a branch and was stealing pears. After hitting the ground, he had a vision. Based on this vision, he began proselytizing for what he called economic theory, whatever that meant. Human claimed that there was a mysterious, invisible hand that regulates the market and that everyone should worship it. He was unable to explain exactly what this hand did, but his followers were often arrested for shoplifting during city fairs, so the invisible hand is now a shoplifting symbol. Nice. That's not all. The strangest thing is that he asked me to make a toupee with the hair that just cut. I only had a couple of hours, but it turned out pretty well anyway. It's bad enough to have your own hair in your head, but putting fake hair on it is really weird. You see, Rock, a rich person is never weird. They're eccentric. It's one of their privileges. Like eating other people's fingernails. Exactly what I meant. Did he explain the sections? Oh no, nobles never explain the oddities. They think they're better than us commoners. Damn nobility must put them all to the sword, tear off their skulls, and use them to drink their blood. Excellent political platform, Gascoigne. Did Sir Wilbur say or do anything else strange? No, I wouldn't say so. He's always been a quiet man, I'd say, apart from this oddity. I've seen some strange things. Once I braided a Gorgon's hair. Have you seen the statue of the gnome? Oh, yeah. I'd say we're done. Thanks, Gascoigne. You're welcome. And just think how good you look with sideburns like a paladin. Can I ask a question? Sure, it's your investigation. Have you ever eaten broccoli? I think so. Interesting. Thanks, I'll make a note of that. Boss, how did I do? What do you think of my investigative skills? My father used to say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So? Boss? Okay, give me another hint. Actually, wait. The barber ate broccoli. Important. This one got inserted midway into the page. It's probably actually going to be important at some point. $17, $24. What is this symbol? It's a combination of the 17 and the 24. As for circular 11. This is a number. This is a number. So if this is 24, one single one is 12. The one below here is -1, and this stick is 5. So 12, 12. And the stick is 5. And the 2 dots are -1. That's 27. But what's this? What's the sun symbol? Which 27 do I visit? There's a sun symbol here. Oops. You know what just hit me? Yeah, she mentioned a notary, yeah. But which one? I do know of the notary. I knew that that was a thing, but I don't know where she is. I remember looking at the time and not seeing a difference between which notary. I know that there's a vampire involved and the blood sucking. And she didn't like him obviously, but which notary I don't know. And I don't know how to tell the difference. N55. So if you go back and look at this conversation again, I hate this so much. Look at this. I can't even fast forward through the pauses. None of these buttons work. None of these work. None of these work. I'm holding down control. Nothing's happening. In fact, I can't even fast forward when control's held down. And tab does nothing as well. I can spam space through it. We didn't visit this guy, right? Tom Piper. But the reason I didn't visit that guy was that by the time I look at scrollback, the scrollback ended around. I'm pretty sure the scrollback ended like this guy was already off the scrollback. He lives here in town. Family solicitor, a dreadful vampire. So there are a couple more people we can visit. One is Tom Piper, who lives in N59. So we might get a notice that. Can I actually click this? Or you have to sit through this animation again. So N59, where Tom Piper lives, is not actually a shop you can visit. Really? Even though they name him. N59, Tom Piper. The lady named him. And yet when I visited this, it was an error. What the hell? Now what? Now what am I supposed to do? There's no way to distinguish between the 3 different notaries. I don't know which one to visit. S76 sounds like the worst one of the lot, so I guess we can go there. But it's probably gonna be wrong, right? This is a 1 in 3 chance. Nope. It's not S76, but I have no way of telling which of the 3 of them are which of the 3 are the correct one. Victor and Rock were immersed in impenetrable darkness. After entering the Deal Done law firm, the heavy doors slammed shut behind them. The interior dark, cool, and smelled of moldy paper. Boss, I've gone blind. It's called darkness. This office is run by Baron Carvel Uger, a vampire notary. I'm sure he'll be in a good mood given the time of day. Can't you goblins see in the dark? We see darkness, we don't live seen in the dark. Meaning? We see black. Very useful ability. Ooh, there disturbs my dark and terrible rest before sunset. A voice growled out of nowhere, terrifying roar. Ooh, so bold as to summon my unholy presence. Boss, maybe you should come back tomorrow. Who is risking their safety and their useless soul? Who will pay a surcharge of 7 copper coins? 3, 6, 4. Deal. Very well, I'll add it to expenses of an investigation that no one is paying me for. 3 dim candles lit up, and the unimposing Baron Carver Ugo emerges from a side corridor. Victor Blackwater, master of the hounds, investigator of the city. This is my assistant. We are here to talk about one of your recently deceased clients, Sir Willem Wilbert. Truly deceased, unlike you. I mean, I didn't mean to say they're not dead. You are dead, right? The vampire notary looked at Rock with disappointment. Boss, deceased means dead, right? It's not like when I told the postman's wife that he had passed away, but I meant that he had passed by to deliver a package. Yes, I definitely died centuries ago. After the Inquisition decided to manage the assets of us magical beings, I had to return to my old profession. Fortunately, the legal system in Red Tower hasn't changed much in 400 years. When magic mysteriously disappeared, all magical creatures lost most of their powers. Some had simply been wiped out, others, the richest and most powerful, had come to terms. In particular, the Church of Lightning's Inquisition had found it convenient to offer amnesty in exchange for the lands controlled by the vampires. This is the first time you've encountered an unclean one, young goblin. My uncle Ryok is called the Filthy One, but I don't think I've ever met an unclean one. It's a delicate nickname they used to describe us. Vampires, zombies, skeletons, ghouls, all creatures that were once alive. The fact that we continue to exist is viewed with suspicion, even though we no longer have any kind of power. So we can't turn into a bat anymore? No. Into a codfish? Never had that power, and most into a wolf. Are you sure? My aunt Lex says she was bitten by a codfish. Are you sure you can't turn into a succulent codfish? No, neither before nor now. Too bad. Anyway, we magical creatures traded our possessions for the chance to live. Or rather, not really living, let's say not dying. When Tori Rossov was run by Nicholas, the bureaucrat, lover of lawyers, notaries, and various paper pushers, I managed to set up this little office. Boss, am I a magical being? No, your smell's important, but not very magical. Like good codfish. He was telling me about Sir Wilbert. Sir Willem Wilbert, yes, he came to see me 3 days ago. He asked me to amend his will. He seemed agitated, like someone who had seen a ghost. Here, the envelope should be here, sealed with wax, said the vampire as he rummaged through a cupboard that was probably older than he was. He left everything to a talking dog he saved in a war? Rock asked with genuine hope. Probably not, Rock. I'd like to understand the thought process that led you to this question, but I'll let it go. Poor Skippy. No talking dog. I obviously can't give you any details given my position. You are not earning your 4 copper coins. I can tell you that apart from a few minor bequests to his servants, the 2 main heirs are Balder Wilbert and a certain George Erody. Balder is the son of Sir Willem's late brother, Mr. Erody. Ah, so his surname is different. Oh, no. A son of Sir William's late brother. Mr. Eredy, on the other hand, runs the guard chicken farm. What was the relationship between Balder and Sir William like? Well, I'd say pretty cold. Did you know him well? No, he wasn't my type. I prefer AB positive. Ah, vampire humor. My psychologist says I need to relearn irony. Is it common for a vampire to go to a psychologist? Yes, it helps us reflect. Did you like it? I don't get it. Vampires don't reflect in mirrors. Got it. But reflecting also means thinking. Right. So they help us reflect, but not in the sense of thinking, but in the sense of reflecting ourselves in the mirror. I don't get it. So reflecting means thinking, but also reflecting light. Perfect. Clear. So what? I don't understand. So when... Rock, please say you understood. I get it. Great. Did Balder also live in Sir William's mansion? Oh, definitely not. After Sir Peter's death, Cornelius having already passed away, the manor house and estate passed to Sir William. Although to tell the truth, Sir William had already been running it for years. Balder has a small but luxurious house at 91 up. Baron Ugo froze, staring at the envelope in bewilderment. What troubles you? I'm not sure, but this wax seal looks strange. I say it had been tampered with if it weren't for the Wilbur family crest. See, it was Sir Wilbur himself who stamped the symbol of the hand directly from his family ring. Oh no. I noticed that Sir Wilbur did indeed have a ring, the symbol of the hand. He used it as a seal. He said he was the only one who had one like it. The Wilbur family symbol is a chicken with all those horrible feathers. The Wilburs have always been breeders of guard chicken. After the disastrous management of Peter's son Cornelius, management passed to William, and he was fortunate for their family. Without William, they would be ruined. Interesting family, the Wilburs. Oh, definitely, but professional secrecy prevents me from revealing anything more. Not even for another 2 copper coins. It's not worth risking my notary license for this. I don't want to end up like Duke Arcaran, the vampire who's now forced to work as a tax collector. Ah, I really got that one. What? The joke? Which joke? The joke about the vampire tax collector? I don't understand what you mean. Because you vampires, well, you are, well, we are what? What is known? Boss? Forgive my insistence. Sometimes the goblin's brain gets stuck. What else can you tell us about the Wilbur? You can ask those busybodies who pass them off as heraldry experts if you're interested in digging up dirt. Not even a little preview of the will in exchange for a silver coin or a rare steak. I haven't lived for centuries to sell myself for so little. In exchange for a polished stone? I don't think so. In exchange for 2 codfish? No. 1 codfish in exchange for 1 codfish? Still no. How about a rough stone? No. In exchange for... Let's do this. Close this investigation officially, and we can open the envelope in accordance with the law. And is there anyone who would have wanted that envelope opened ahead of time? Apart from you two, not that I know of. Come back when you know why he died. And bring 20 gold coins for reading rights, 5 for communication to the Royal Land Registry, and 10 for the ancillary costs. And come back after sunset. Now I'm going back to sleep. You know the way. Farewell. Whispered the vampire, slowly retreating into the shadows as only notaries and ghosts know how to do it. What is this obsession of yours with codfish? It is you humans who have a complete lack of interest in codfish. You always think about money and not codfish. They're just fish. And coins are just metal discs, you can't even eat them. With coins you can buy codfish. Coins you earn by selling codfish. I'm very interested in goblin economic theories, but we better leave before the Baron gets angry. Pause, do vampires kill people by sucking their blood? Rock asked as he left. Only the kindest ones. The others do it with the ancillary costs. Okay, yeah, I'm done. I'm sure there's more things I can visit, but the conversations are too long. And I'm out of time. So yeah, interesting game. In theory, I like it. I like this map in theory. In practice, the conversations themselves are too long. If those are polished up and cleaned up and made a lot shorter, at least, sure, you can read through them one time, sure, but there should be summaries of each thing. It's too much when the conversation is so long that it overflows the buffer text, so you can't scroll back. That's the sign that it's too long. or that the buffer text isn't large enough. The game needs a lot of QOL before it becomes, I think it can become a really fun game, but it needs a lot of QOL to get there. But yeah, interesting game, definitely for sure. The Last Wizard, a Goblin detective mystery. If you like it, be sure to wishlist the game as it helps the devs a lot. Thank you very much for watching this demo. We did not finish it, I don't think. We did find one thing that wasn't in the demo, that they said come back later, come back like in a full game. But I don't know if there actually is an end to the demo or what point we hit that. So I suppose if you follow the hints long enough, we will hit that. But that will be for someone else with more time and patience to follow. Have a wonderful evening, and see you next time for yet more Steam demos. Whatever we find, trawling the depths of newly released demos on Steam. We find lots of interesting games like this, so hopefully there'll be another few next week to for us to explore. See you around on my stream. Goodbye.